everybody, to Great American Ballpark. It's getaway day here in Cincinnati. The Dodgers back in first place, hoping to complete the sweep of the Reds and then head off to Boston. It's the Dodgers finishing off a series against the Cincinnati Reds. Hello, everyone. Day baseball here in Cincinnati. Glad you could join us. With my partner, Steve Lyons, I'm Eric Collins. The Dodgers, the best record in the National League. They're back in first place in the NL West. And a big reason why is what they've done the last couple of days. They've been the kings of the Queen City.
Well, I just think it's so important that when you go on the road and you're facing a team that's leading their division like Cincinnati, you've got to play well, and you have to hit, and you've got to pitch. And they've done that in the first two games of the series. Rafael Furcal in Game 1 had 5 hits. Manny Ramirez hit a home run in both games of this series. And Andre Ethier went deep yesterday, so the offense has been there big time.
As good as the offense has been, the pitching has probably been as good, if not better, for the Dodgers last couple of days.
Huge start for Hiroki Kuroda to get this starting staff back on the right foot, and then followed up by Clayton Kershaw. Look at the numbers. Over 12 innings pitched, just 1 earned run. You're going to win a lot of games like that.
Dodger baseball coming up. Final game of this 3-game series. The rookie, John Eli, gets the ball against the Reds, Bronson Arroyo.
Steve's putting on his headset right now.
Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
Brought to you by your Southern California Hyundai dealers. Want more MPG? Hyundai. By Shakey's, who competed in 22 World Series games and won 10. Go to Shakey's.com/trivia. By AT&T, TV, high-speed internet, home phone, and wireless. Visit att.com or call 1-800-PICK-ATT for details. By Southwest Airlines, go to southwest.com, grab your bag, it's on. Welcome, everybody. Final day here in Cincinnati during the regular season, at least, for the Dodgers. Dodgers trying to sweep the Cincinnati Reds and then head off to Boston and take on the Red Sox. Take a look at the freecreditscore.com Dodger batting order. No Raphael for a call next couple of days. We'll get into that in a moment. Blake DeWitt leads off. Matt Kemp, Andre Ethier, James Loney on fire this series, 6 for 10. Casey Blake, Garrett Anderson in left field. A.J. Ellis spells Russell Martin, Jamie Carroll, and John Eli gets the start. And we're underway. First pitch from Bronson Arroyo is ball one to Blake DeWitt. Blake leading off for the first time in his big league career. With Steve Lyons, I'm Eric Collins. That ball is hammered foul.
14th start of the year for Arroyo. He's got 3 different pitches he throws. Kind of a sinking fastball, good hard slider, and a changeup. His big difference is arm angles. He throws at you from a bunch of different arm angles. And after that big leg kick, sometimes very difficult to pick up the ball. Both starters today have 2 losses and no wins in their last 4 starts, so something's got to give today.
Veteran right-hander from Brooksville, Florida. A sidewinding breaking ball misses outside, 70 miles per hour. Count is now 3-1 to Blake DeWitt. DeWitt into center field. Drew Stubbs has to play it on a hop. Leadoff single for Blake DeWitt. Let's take a look at the Home Depot defense for the Reds. Best defense in the National League. Gomes, Stubbs, and Bruce in the outfield. Infield of Rowland, Cabrera, Phillips, and Votto. That's the same defenders that we've seen in the first 2 games of the series. There is one change, and that's behind the plate. Corky Miller, veteran catcher, catching Bronson Arroyo.
Matt Kemp back to his familiar spot in the number 2 slot in the lineup. Not so sure if Joe Torre was really ready to have him back there in that number 2 slot, but out of necessity with Furcal out of the lineup now and the day game changes that he's made.
Joe Torre's going to be without Raphael Furcal for the next 3 days at least. Furcal going back home to the Dominican Republic. He is on the bereavement list, dealing with a personal matter. Replaced on the roster by Chin Long Hu, who's going to join the team maybe in the last couple innings of this game. I'm told his plane is supposed to land at about 2 o'clock this afternoon local.
He shouldn't have the weather issues that we've seen in the past here, so his flight ought to be able to get into town easily.
2-0 to Kemp. Spins outside corner for a strike, 2-1. Missing from the Dodger lineup today, Bronson Arroyo may be catching a break. No Raphael Furcal, no Russell Martin, no Manny Ramirez.
Those guys have had excellent series here so far in Cincinnati over the first 2 ball games.
Dodgers as a team, 30 base hits, 18 runs scored. They've hit 3 home runs, 2 of them by Manning. Trying to sweep the Reds. Arroyo's 3-1 pitch. Misses. So the first 2 men have reached for the Dodgers. Runners on at first and at second. Andre Ethier will step in next. Today's game is being brought to you in high definition by Time Warner Cable. Ethier, 3-hit ball game yesterday, including his 12th home run of the season. Still leading the National League in batting average, hitting .346.
We talked yesterday about Manny Ramirez's power stroke starting to return. Andre Ethier starting to look much more comfortable in the box, not jumping at pitches like he was for probably the first week or 10 days after coming back off the DL. Took some awkward swings, some overswung at a couple pitches. That's just not his style. He has the best left-handed swing in baseball today, in my opinion.
Arroyo's been falling behind guys here early in this ball game. 33-year-old right-hander, 6'4", 194 pounds. Back in 2006, he was an all-star. On the ground, right side, Votto with the backhand, a second for 1, on to first. Double play. 3-6-3 on the 3-6-1. That was Arroyo covering the bag. There are now 2 outs. DeWitt checks in at third.
Well, good job by Arroyo to get Ethier to bounce into this play. Excellent defensive play by Votto, keeping the ball on the outside of second base so that it made it nice, easy throw for Cabrera back to Arroyo covering. A lot of good things happened defensively for the Reds on that play, and that's why they're the best defensive fielding team in the National League.
Fourth double play that the Dodgers have hit into here in this three-game series. James Loney batting in the cleanup spot. 306 the batting average. 5 homers. Second in the National League with 22 doubles. It's been a doubles machine recent games. 4 doubles in this series. 6 doubles in his last 3 games. Hard hit, but right to the shortstop. Gold Glover Orlando Cabrera throws out Loney. Dodgers miss an opportunity. They strand DeWitt at third. Half inning in the books. Dodgers nothing. Reds coming to bat. Great American Ballpark, our venue. Final game of this 3-game series, Dodgers and Reds. Take a look at the Reds batting order. Orlando Cabrera, Brandon Phillips, Joey Votto, Scott Rowland. 4 infielders batting in the first 4 spots in the lineup. Scott Rowland was ejected yesterday, but he's having a good season. 14 homers for the veteran third sacker. Johnny Gomes, Jay Bruce, Drew Stubbs, Corky Miller hits 8th. He will catch, and Bronson Arroyo, the pitcher. There's your Dodge Reds batting order. John Eli, 10th start of the season.
See the numbers on Eli right there. As we mentioned before, both of these starters looking to break through in the win column again. Neither one of them have won a game in their last 4 starts. Eli threw 5 innings against the Angels his last time out, gave up 6 hits, 4 earned runs. That matched his shortest outing of the season so far. In order to stay in this game and go deeper into the ball game, he's going to have to utilize that good changeup, throw it down in the zone, maybe in the dirt and out of the zone, and get guys to swing at it.
First pitch to Orlando Cabrera is strike 1.
That's something that John Eli does very, very well. Gets ahead of hitters in his last few starts. Not as good doing that.
On the ground, foul wide of the bag at third. And John Eli was originally scheduled to pitch over the weekend against the Boston Red Sox. He was moved up when Chad Billingsley was placed on the disabled list with a groin issue. People asking him whether or not he was disappointed not getting a chance to pitch at Fenway Park. Called strike 3 on 3 pitches. He strikes out Cabrera. Home Depot defense for the Dodgers looks like this. There's some changes. Manny Ramirez not out in the left field. Garrett Anderson is in left. Matt Kemp, Andre Ethier, the other outfielders. Casey Blake. Jamie Carroll takes over for Call at shortstop. Blake DeWitt and James Loney on the right side with John Eli throwing to A.J. Ellis. This is the second time this year at the big league level that Ellis has caught Eli. 1 out. Here's Brandon Phillips. Just finishing off that story. Eli not upset that he didn't get a chance to pitch at Fenway Park, because here
he gets a chance to pitch in front of a lot of friends and people who have been influential to him in his life. He went to college just up the road in Miami of Ohio in Oxford, about 50 miles northwest of here.
Yesterday went to lunch with his former coach there. When he pitched in Chicago, where he's from, tons of friends and family were out there. I remember talking to his Uncle Tom. Uncle Tom there told me, you know what, I put a fishing pole in his hand when he was a kid. We used to go fishing a lot. If I was smart, I would have taught him how to bunt. Eli, not the most efficient bunter on the pitching staff for the Dodgers.
Ball and 2 strikes to Brandon Phillips. Did he go too far? Yes, he did. Back-to-back strikeouts for Eli.
That's an easy call right there, and a good job by A.J. Ellis to ask about the check down there at first base from Brian Runge. That's a swing, no doubt about it.
Two outs here, home half of the first inning. Joey Votto steps in. Votto aggressive, fouls it back to the screen.
Well, we've seen Votto have a couple swings like that where he's just not squaring up pitches. You see his numbers. He's having an outstanding year for this team, but in this series against the Dodgers, he's seen hittable pitches that he's fouled off. Thank goodness. Votto, a member of the All-Star rookie team, along with Jay Bruce in 2008 for the Cincinnati Reds.
Called strike 1 and 2.
Time for the patented Eli changeup right here.
Went fastball instead and misses high and outside. Two-two pitch. Backs him off the plate. We go full. Hard hit ball the other way. Anderson looks up. It's going to be off the wall. Quickly back to the infield. He's going to hold Votto to a long single. I think that's the third time in this series that we've seen a ball hit off the wall in left field, and the batter only get a single out of it.
Furcal did it for the Dodgers, and now Hernandez and Votto have done it in this series for the Cincinnati Reds. The ball's hit so hard, and because of very nice defense out in left field by Manny Ramirez yesterday and now Garrett Anderson, positioning themselves well so they take the carom off the wall. One hop, get it back in. There's no way you can go for two. If you do, you're dead. Those are the kind of balls that we've seen Votto hit before. Good thing we're getting out of town.
2 outs, runner on at first base, and Scott Rowland takes strike 1. Saw a little bit of Scott Rowland yesterday. The veteran got ejected after disputing a called third strike in the 6th inning. It was a crucial spot of the game. Clayton Kershaw struck him out on a pitch that looked to be outside the strike zone. Scott Rowland was rung up quickly. He was ejected. His manager, Dusty Baker, was ejected about 30 seconds later.
That was the type of situation, if you were managing a ball club, you definitely have to go out and support your player. A lot of times the managers don't necessarily know where the pitch is, but they know how their players react to pitches, and that was only the 3rd career ejection for Rowland. You know, if he's going to get ejected, it probably wasn't a strike.
14-year veteran. 2-1 now. Rowland second in the National League to Andre Ethier in slugging percentage. Votto's sneaky. Got to keep an eye on him. He'll steal a bag. Got 7 steals on the season.
Little flare to right field. Ethier coming on, makes the play. 2-out single by Votto does no damage. We move to the second. Scoreless in Cincinnati. Here in Cincinnati, Casey Blake, Garrett Anderson, and A.J. Ellis to bat against Bronson Arroyo.
Now, guys mess around on getaway day more than any other day. Look at Casey Blake's helmet. I don't even know what that is stuck to his dome. And Corky Miller had to go over and say, you know what, hey, why don't you take that off before you hit?
There's got to be some relationship between Corky Miller and Casey Blake. Why would he take it off? That would have been fantastic if he let him hit with it.
I can guarantee you Casey Blake will figure out who did that, and that guy will be not in a good way for the rest of the season.
Ball and 2 strikes to the Dodger third baseman.
Told you yesterday, Casey Blake, that's not even his real name. His real name is William Casey Blake. Goes by Casey for whatever reason. He and his wife Abby have 3 daughters. Daughters are named Bailey, Lauren, and Dana. Finally, last year he had a son.
High fly ball. Medium deep center field. Close to the warning track. It's caught by Drew Stubbs.
So after 3 daughters, Casey finally has a son. What do you think he named him?
William.
No, George. Just because he likes the name George.
Well, the Los Angeles Dodgers waking up this morning and liking what they see in the National League West. In first place, San Diego a loser yesterday, so the Dodgers a half game ahead out west. Dodgers with the best record in the National League. 38-27, 11 games over 500. In all of baseball, only the Yankees and the Rays have better records than the Dodgers. Backdoor breaking ball misses outside. A ball and a strike to Garrett Anderson. Garrett getting his start this afternoon in place of Manny Ramirez. Hits the ball hard. Sinking line drive caught by Jay Bruce. Tough luck for Garrett.
If the Dodgers can keep their record the way it is now, over the next 2 or 3 weeks, they will have done something. When you talk about all the teams that they not only have already played, but the teams that they will play over the next couple of weeks, every one of them with records over 500. Every one of them either in first or second place in their own respective divisions. Played teams like the Braves and the Cardinals and the Angels, and now coming here to Cincinnati, go on to Boston, come back for the Angels, get the Yankees at home, and then go back into your division with San Francisco and Arizona. Tough part of the summer.
2 balls, no strikes to A.J. Ellis. Ellis has got a lot of friendly faces in the ballpark today. He is from nearby Lexington, Kentucky. Just a couple of miles down the road. And his family and friends not going to see him swing the bat his first time up. Takes 4 pitches outside the strike zone. Well, A.J. Ellis is just from on the other side of the Ohio River. That's Kentucky.
We showed you the tape of Adam Dunn hitting the ball into Kentucky from here. Hopefully that won't happen unless he's got a gray uniform on today.
Jamie Carroll starting at shortstop, takes the pitch. Ball 1. Jamie, 288 the batting average, 10 runs batted in. He was phenomenal for that month stretch where he was the everyday shortstop in place of Rafael Furcal. That was right when the Dodgers turned their season around.
Played great defense at short and hit the ball better than I think anyone expected. I think they figured, look, we need you to catch the ball. It's a pertinent position out there that you have to go out and do your job defensively, but they got a 300 hitter out of Jamie Carroll while he was out there.
Carroll spending last season with the Cleveland Indians, which to me is just a colossal waste. He is a classic National League player. Can play a lot of different premium defensive positions for you. Can run a little bit late innings, pinch runner. 2-2. Outside, counts full, 3-2.
Now, you can't say enough about the at-bat of A.J. Ellis. After Arroyo in this inning was cruising through, just a few pitches to Blake, 1 pitch to Garrett Anderson, could have got out of this inning under 10 pitches, and now the 4-pitch walk to A.J. and a full count to Jamie Carroll.
Back-to-back walks. Arroyo misses down low. So he gets Blake and Anderson, but then walks the 7th and 8th hitters in the Dodger lineup, Ellis and Jamie Carroll.
Oh, a 3-2 pitch. I like a hawk up there from Jamie Carroll. That's down around his ankles. It was a strike to Roland last night.
Well, normally a guy who throws a lot of strikes. He's already walked 3 in the first 8 men that he's faced so far today. John Eli takes a spinner for a strike. He's been to the plate 16 times in a Dodger uniform, has 1 base hit. Batting average of .063.
Not anymore.
Into left field. A.J. Ellis is going to score the game's first run. RBI single for John Eli.
Watch John Eli at the plate. He doesn't get to do it very often. Watch him light up when he sees a pitch he likes. That's great concentration, just dumping one into left field. And once again, you go back to the at-bat of A.J. Ellis, keeping the inning alive. Ends up with a run scored here for the Dodgers.
First career run batted in for John Eli. Runners on at the corners. Now the top of the lineup, Blake DeWitt. That's the 2nd time in this series that we have seen a Dodger pitcher pick up their first career run batted in. Back on Tuesday, it was Ramon Troncoso who did it the hard way. Got hit with a pitch with the bases loaded.
He walked
to the bases
and
loaded.
Was instructed not to swing his bat.
Diving play by Arroyo. Throws out Blake DeWitt with the underhand toss, side retired. But the Dodgers scratch first. John Eli, RBI single.
A man not in the starting lineup today is our Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. It is Manny Ramirez for his work in the series.
Well, back-to-back nights with home runs. Just the first time all season he's done that. Went to left field and then just for good measure said, I can hit a bullet out of here to right. Not in today's lineup. Joe Torre giving him a day off so that he can play 3 straight in Boston. It's the return of Manny back to Boston.
Game 1, you can catch it right here on Prime Ticket. Dodgers Live gets you started at 3:30 in the afternoon. And then the Dodgers and the Red Sox 3-game series from Fenway. Just the second time that the Dodgers have ever played at Fenway Park. Last time the Dodgers did it, Manny was a member of the Red Sox.
They went on to win a World Series that year as well. 04-07, Manny was there for both of those and a huge part of those championship teams. And that's why, you know, I kind of hold out hope. I think he's going to get booed mightily there, but there will be some people that stand up and cheer because Boston fans, they love championships, and they hadn't had one for about 100 years until he showed up.
Well, if he does get booed, it's only going to be when he's batting. Joe Torre telling us before the ball game that more than likely Manny will not play the field during that 3-game series. It's at an American League ballpark. Manny will be the designated hitter Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, more than likely. Johnny Gomes swings at the first pitch, and Blake DeWitt, nice play, fields a wicked one-hopper. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Tough play for Blake DeWitt. You don't have time to do much. You just try to get in position to catch it. Watch the first move. Quick step to his right. Get low and behind that ball. Get your eye level with it so you can get your glove to the right spot. He made the play.
Yesterday we saw Blake make an error, but it was just his 4th error of the season. How would you grade his progress as a second baseman?
I just think he's getting better and better each time out there. I mean, this organization is stuck with him over there at second base. They do have other options, there's no question. Belliard can go over there. Jamie Carroll has played very well, but they want to stick with him and give him an opportunity to get better over there, and he's done that.
Change-up of beauty, and Eli gets out ahead of Jay Bruce 0-2.
Back to Manny for just a little bit going back into Boston. You were telling me stories before we came on air today about his return when he was with the Red Sox, coming back to Cleveland, where he had played so well for so many years.
Down the left field line, foul.
And when he played left field back in Cleveland after that, wasn't so happy for him out there.
Oh, he was serenaded with a chorus of boos for days on end. They were throwing things at him. It was not a happy homecoming at all, and Cleveland is fairly notorious for that. Jim Thome, who was the good guy of all good guys during his time in Cleveland, he was just hammered when he came back into town. Of course, Albert Bell back in the 90s.
Yeah, but Albert Bell sort of deserved it, didn't he?
Pretty good player when he was in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Ball and 2 strikes. Eli to Bruce. Bruce stays alive, just flips it foul.
So far, A.J. Ellis and John Eli have not fallen in love with that changeup. They've been very effective so far throwing fastballs to both sides of the plate. Don't show all your weapons too quickly. There's a breaking ball.
Down the right field line, that's going to make it all the way to the wall. Extra bases for Bruce. Ethier gets it back to the infield, but a 2-bagger. Second hit allowed by Eli. Man in scoring position now.
A lot of left-handed hitters, especially when they're facing right-handed pitchers, know that they're going to see something off speed, either a big hanging breaking ball or changeups. That ball, to me, looked like a breaking ball that didn't break. It didn't look like it had the same action as his changeup. Pitch was 77 miles an hour. We talked about earlier in the show that both pitchers are going to have to keep the ball down in the strike zone. Anything up today gets out of this place too easy. Get yourself in trouble if you pitch up.
Speedy Drew Stubbs steps in. Takes a fastball outside corner. 0-1. Stubbs, first-round pick of the Reds back in 2006. Stubbs was taken 1 pick after the Dodgers took Clayton Kershaw. 2 picks after Stubbs. Tim Lincecum got popped by the San Francisco Giants.
A lot of Major League scouts kicking themselves now for not putting in better reports on Lincecum, but the common wisdom back then was that he's too small, he throws funny, he'll hurt himself, he won't last. Oops.
2-1. A lot of the things that they said about Tim Lincecum, they said about John Eli when he was coming out. Kind of a shorter right-hander. He was a high-effort guy. Still is. Doesn't get a lot of velocity, but he uses all of his body, and sometimes scouts take a look and say, you know what, that just is a recipe for disaster. Wasn't drafted out of high school, had to go to college and play at Miami of Ohio to lift up his stock. 2-2. Called strike 3. Third strikeout of the ball game for Eli.
Another fastball, one of the harder pitches he's thrown all day, reached 90 on that one.
Spend your summer at the beach, Bleacher Beach. And for a limited time, beach bums can enjoy one of 3 Yankee games at the beach with a 7-game ticket plan that includes giveaways, beach bucks, and a party every weekend. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/beach or call 866-DODGERS. Corky Miller steps in. Corky takes down low. We were talking about Casey Blake. His given name is William Blake. What do you think the given name of Corky Miller is?
Corky.
His parents said, I like Corky. That's your given name.
I don't know if I'd do that.
Almost like there's limited occupations if your given name is Corky.
You could be a backup catcher and what else?
Can you run for president if your given name is Corky Miller?
You come up with a nickname.
A little bit low, 3-0.
Corky Miller was with the White Sox last year, was traded for Norris Hopper over here to the Reds, got up to the big leagues, and you look at his numbers throughout his career, a lot of minor league at-bats, but voted the best defensive catcher almost everywhere he went in the minor leagues. He can catch and throw back there. He's got those odd awards like player you'd most want in your clubhouse, player who will make the best future manager, things like that. So he's got that going for him, which is nice.
And he draws the walk. On 5 pitches, Corky Blake draws the first walk thrown by John Eli. Runners on at first and second. Eli can probably justify it and say, well, now he gets a chance to pitch to the pitcher, Bronson Arroyo.
Arroyo can swing it a little bit for a pitcher, too. He loves to swing the bat. He's only hitting .214 on the year, but he's a guy that will take a decent hack at you. Another note on Corky Miller, too. I mean, this is a guy that probably could have been in the big leagues the entire season, but they literally asked him to go down to AAA. Can you imagine being a guy who's up and down most of your career? Of all his time in the game, he only has just over 3 years of Major League service. They asked him to go down to AAA and work with Ardrolis Chapman, the phenom lefty that they have that throws 100 miles an hour, so that you can mentor him and tutor him a little bit and keep him around the strike zone so that when it comes time to bring him up, we know that he's been throwing to someone who knows how to catch. You know what he said? Sure.
There's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike to Bronson Arroyo. Arroyo 6 hits and 28 at-bats. .214 batting average. Has 4 career home runs. Half of them off of Glendon Rush. Hits this one deep to left field. Gone! 5 career home runs for Bronson Arroyo. You said he could hit a little bit. Reds on top 3-1.
Well, hopefully the thing that I said earlier was the more important thing. You got to keep the ball down. That ball's mid-thigh. Look at John Eli. He knows as soon as he hits it, it's gone. This thing's belt high. That's an easy pitch to hit. That's a beautiful swing. You're looking at his belt buckle, his head straight down on the ball. Why do they pinch hit Micah Owings?
First ball swinging, Orlando Cabrera flies out to center field, side retired. The damage done with one swing of the bat by Bronson Arroyo. John Eli gives up a 3-run home run. Final regular season game that the Dodgers will play here at Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. 2 innings in the books. Dodgers trailing the Reds 3-1. Bronson Arroyo, a 3-run home run. His first homer of the season, his 5th career home run.
Now he's got to go out there and go to work. Dodgers, first time they've been at a deficit in this series.
Metcalf leads things off. Swings at the first pitch, and it's caught by Orlando Cabrera. Maybe next year doesn't make that play, but he's still got a little spring in his legs, and he comes up with it.
Orlando Cabrera is a Gold Glove fielding infielder. He has bounced around a lot in his career for a guy who's very productive everywhere he goes.
One pitch, one out. Here comes Andre Ethier. Grounded into a double play back in the first inning. 3-6-1. He's 7 for 20 lifetime now against Arroyo with the home run. Ethier with 87 lifetime Major League home runs. All of them in a Dodger uniform. Originally a second-round draft pick of the Oakland A's. Oh, 2. Arroyo has not struck out a Dodger so far today. Misses down low. Last year, was surprised to find out as James Loney takes a strike. I was talking to Ken Howell, the bullpen coach for the Dodgers and longtime big leaguer. He's been around the block. Ken Howell has never been inside Fenway Park. He signed as a professional in 1982. So he's been around the pro game for 28 years, yet he has never been inside Fenway Park. There he is. One of the good guys.
He's a guy that's really fast-tracked on his way to doing much bigger things in this game. Potential managing material. As you talked about, just a wonderful guy as well.
Down the left field line. He's a Michigan native, and he loves to talk Michigan Wolverine football.
I bet there's a number of guys in that Dodger dugout that have never been into Fenway Park. I know that I'm going to go to Saturday's game as a fan for the first time ever in Fenway Park. Played there for 5 years, never went to a game.
Get ready to be uncomfortable. Seats are tight. You're going to have your knees up by your ears. Opened that ballpark in 1912, and I don't think that they've moved the seats back. It was built for the people back in 1911 who were probably a little smaller.
Been telling all my friends that I'm going to show up there in a Clayton Kershaw jersey and a Dodger hat. And they're all saying you're going to get killed.
Ohio. Home half of the third inning. Time now for the AT&T trivia question. Dusty Baker, now the manager with the Reds. He had 5 postseason home runs while playing for the Dodgers. Can you name the only 4 players that have hit more? Now, they don't give us a preview on these questions. That's a hard one.
I know one for sure. And we'll see him in Boston.
Brandon Phillips leads off against John Eli and swings and misses 0-1. Phillips struck out. Oh, 2. It'll be Phillips, Votto, and Scott Rowland bat here in the third.
Brandon Phillips has been a 30-30 guy here in a Cincinnati uniform. He's the only Cincinnati Red to hit 20 home runs, 20 doubles, 20 stolen bases, 3 straight years. Those are some consistent numbers, and when you think back to all the great Reds teams, guys that could have had the potential to do that.
Joe Morgan.
Yeah, well, all back to the stolen bases maybe where it gets you. A lot of those big red machine guys were power and defense and not a lot of stolen bases, but outside of a guy like Joe, but Eric Davis, Barry Larkin with the power and speed.
Barry Larkin, a Hall of Famer in your eyes?
Very close. I don't know his exact numbers.
Three balls and 2 strikes now to Phillips. A little bit high.
Wrong guy to have on the bases here.
Second walk allowed by Eli. Now, John Eli is familiar in these areas. He spent 3 years of his life just up the road at Miami of Ohio. I can tell you what he did not have as his pregame meal. He did not have Skyline chili, which is kind of like the favorite for many people here. I asked him if he was a fan of Cincinnati Skyline chili as Joey Votto hits this one high and deep to left center field. And this one is gone. Second home run allowed by Eli. Home run number 14 on the year for Votto. It's a 5-1.
The ball down and away from him is a little bit like throwing the ball down and away from Manny. He'll go hurt you with it.
Scott Rowland into the grandstand's right side. Eli. It's 5 home runs now in his last 3 outings. So I asked Eli if he was a fan of Cincinnati Skyline chili, and you would have thought I asked him if he liked to eat worms. Swing and a miss. If you've never had it before, Skyline chili, it's a very thin chili, no beans, and the secret ingredient is cinnamon. And also put a little bit of cocoa powder in there too.
Do we come back to Cincinnati again this year?
No.
All right, come on. It's spaghetti sauce poured over noodles.
Line drive caught by Jamie Carroll. First out here in the 3rd inning.
Jamie doing what he does best when he gets his opportunity. A couple steps and a dive. You can see him in the upper left-hand part of your picture there. Watch the quickness. Or just take my word for it, he made a nice play.
One out, bases cleared. Johnny Gomes will bat. He was robbed last time up. Blake DeWitt made a nice play on a hard hit ball. See Jamie Carroll at shortstop. Dodgers will have to make do without Rafael Furcal for at least the first 2 games of the series against the Red Sox. Rafi on his way as we speak back to his home in the Dominican. He's on the bereavement list dealing with a personal matter. Dodgers have recalled Chin-Long Hu to take his spot on the roster. Rafi eligible to come back and join the team on Sunday, but not sure if he'll be able to make it back in time. He just rejoined the team as they get ready to take on the Angels again next week.
Johnny Gomes, one of those clubhouse guys that you love to have around on your team.
Gets himself a base hit to center field.
Always happy, always talking. And in his past, he was more of a clubhouse guy and a 4th outfielder. This year, he's getting his chances to play.
It's now 5 base hits allowed by Eli, and all of them have been hard hit. Double by Bruce, a couple of home runs. That single by Gomes to go along with a single by Votto back in the 1st inning. Gomes on at first. Jay Bruce, who doubled and scored his last time up, in the left-handed batter's box. He hits a line drive caught by Carroll, and they're going to double off Gomes. A lot of hard hit balls in that inning. Dodgers may be fortunate that only 2 runs scored. We move to the 4th inning here in the home of Cincinnati Skyline Chili. Steve can't stand it. I think it's fantastic. Nirvana on a bun. Fans, go to Jack in the Box to get a Soccer Jack antenna ball for only $1 plus tax. By your Southern California Ford dealers, where you'll find the new Transit Connect. Check it out at scforddealers.com. And by Loveza. Fountain Square, downtown Cincinnati. It's been a beautiful last couple of days here in the Queen City. Had a lot of rain on Tuesday, but the last 2 days, low 80s. Nice day. Casey Blake leads things off for the Dodgers. It'll be Blake, Anderson, and Ellis against Bronson Arroyo. Another hard hit ball. Single to center field for Casey.
That was Casey Blake strolling to the plate in his first at-bat. You want to make sure there was nothing on top of his dome for his second at-bat there.
Garrett Anderson. Garrett hit it hard his first time up, lined out to right, takes strike 1. During your playing days, was there anyone that you just knew was off limits you were not allowed to play practical jokes on?
Well, those were the guys that usually I would try to do it on, all the guys that were definitely off limits. If you're smart, you make sure that they don't know you're the guy doing it. Played in Boston, Wade Boggs was the guy.
Another double play ball, 3-6-1. Second time today that the Reds have turned it. That's maybe the most difficult double play to turn, and they've done it nicely twice.
Well, it's a good observation. The reason why it's so difficult is because you're relying on the pitcher to get over there. But watch Arroyo. He's a great athlete. Look at him get to the bag first so he can put his foot on the base and then make the play. Too many guys try to run to the bag while they're trying to catch the ball. It's just like catching a ball in the outfield. Get there to the spot where the ball's going to come down. Then you don't have any issues. Get to first base as a pitcher. Then you can make adjustments when the throw comes.
Dodgers have now hit into 5 double plays in this 3-game series. So 22 innings and 5 double plays hit into. I guess you could make the argument there have been a lot of base runners for the Dodgers the last couple of days.
I'll take the double plays if they continue to score runs at the rate they were scoring in the first 2 ball games. So far in today's game, those double plays have been taking them out of the innings where they could have some potential runs scored.
2-0 to A.J. Ellis. That's the first strike he's seen so far today. First 6 pitches all missed the strike zone. He walked and scored back in the second. Off the thumbs. Shallow pop. Brandon Phillips makes the play. No runs, a hit. The double play erased Casey Blake. Home half of the fourth when we return. 5-1 Reds. AT&T trivia question we asked. The comment before was Dusty Baker's hit 5 postseason home runs of the Dodgers. Can you name the only 4 players with more? Steve, what do you have?
I had 3 of the 4. I just didn't get Davey Lopes. He got 6. Duke Snider with 11. Steve Garvey mashing balls in the playoffs with 10. Then, of course, the Penguin. The Penguin, I know for a fact, will be in Boston when we go there. Just had, I believe, hip replacement surgery, so he's hobbling around with a cane.
Bottom third of the Reds lineup, Drew Stubbs, Corky Miller, and Bronson Arroyo against John Eli. Stubbs swings at the first pitch and hits it hard to left field. Garrett Anderson makes the catch. One step onto the warning track. There have been a lot of hard-hit balls in today's game. Cast your Scott's All-Star ballot at Lowe's and enter to win a VIP All-Star experience. Compliments of Scott's. Andre Ethier. He's going to be at that All-Star. You got to be at the All-Star game. Leading the National League in batting average and slugging percentage. Currently third among outfielders in the National League in All-Star votes.
Well, Dodger fans got to get on the computer and continue to vote. You don't want to look at the standings right now and say, he's in. We don't have to really vote anymore. You can get on there and vote 25 times.
Ethier has never made an All-Star game. Corky Miller hits it hard to left field. That's going to get down. Solid single for Miller. His second base hit of the season. He's now 2 for 15. Now our Lexus pursuing for perfection involves Bronson Arroyo. Done it with the bat. 3-run home run back in the second inning, and he's also done it with the glove twice today. He has made a nice play at first base to finish off a 3-6-1 double play.
Well, part of the reason those 3-6-1 double plays have worked out so well is Joey Votto over at first base. Just a tremendous glove over there. Good quickness, too. Gets the ball, gets it to his second baseman quickly so that the second baseman can make a nice, easy relay throw to turn over that double play. Neither one of them have been close.
Throw to first base. Corky Miller back standing. Looks a little bit like Bad Blake, maybe. Jeff Bridges and Crazy Heart.
I don't know.
Is he the lonely kind? Arroyo shows bunt, swings away, hits it to Casey from his knees to second for one, on to first. Double play. That'll end the inning. Arroyo hit it right to Casey Blake, who starts the double play from his knees. 5-4-3. The fifth is next. Trailing the Reds 5-1. Well, Manny's return to Boston continues on Fox Saturday Baseball, presented by Chevrolet, as the Dodgers play Game 2 of their 3-game series with the Red Sox at 1 p.m. on Fox. That's going to be the biggest story in baseball this weekend. Manny's first game against the Red Sox at Fenway Park, you can catch right here on Prime Ticket. That's tomorrow night. Manny and the Dodgers beginning a 3-game set against the Red Sox in Boston.
It's hard not to be excited about the series in general, but then the return of Manny Ramirez. And you and I, before the game, we're just kind of perusing some of Manny's all-time numbers. I mean, goodness gracious, sometimes you forget some of the career numbers that he's thrown up there. In 1999 in Cleveland, he had 165 RBIs. He hit 333 that year. Look at his career numbers.
Jamie Carroll leads things off here in the 5th inning against Bronson Arroyo. It's 2 balls and no strikes. It'll be Carroll, John Eli, and then the top of the lineup, Blake DeWitt. What really caught my eye when looking at Manny's numbers, back in 2000, his final year in Cleveland, only played in 118 games, yet he hit 351, and he drove in 122 runs. 351, and he drove in more runs than games played. There's a strike. 3-1 now to Jamie. $165 was batted in 1999. You mentioned that. That's crazy.
I mean, in 05 in Boston, 45 homers, 144 RBIs. The numbers look like misprints. They're like Bugs Bunny numbers.
A little high. Good at bat, Jamie Carroll. So a whole bunch of pitches from Bronson Arroyo and works the walk. That's now 4 walks allowed by Arroyo. Yet somehow Manny Ramirez came in second in the 1994 Rookie of the Year award in the American League. Bob Hamlin, the thumper for Kansas City, took him down.
Well, Manny's never won an MVP. Won a World Series MVP. He's got the most all-time postseason home runs.
Eli lays down the bunt. They're going to go to second and get the force there. Over to first, not in time. Aggressive play by Arroyo to cut down Jamie Carroll.
Well, see, there we have it again. We talked about Arroyo being an excellent athlete, and he gets off the mound. And we also talked about the fact that John Eli has his issues bunting. That ball's just bunted way too hard. Look how much time he has to turn around and throw the guy out at second base, and watch how quickly he does it. He's not thinking about that. He knows that if he gets off the mound quick enough and can get the ball quickly, he's going to second.
One out now. Blake DeWitt batting leadoff for the first time as a big leaguer.
Dodgers have had leadoff man on plenty of times in this ball game, and they get cut down by double play balls.
For Blake, this is the first time this season he has batted above 6th in the lineup. If you're just joining us, Rafael Furcal gone for the next 3 days at least. He is back in the Dominican dealing with a personal matter. He's on the bereavement list. Chin Lung Hu has been called up to replace him. High pop up behind home plate. Miller off with the mask. 2 down. The Dodgers opening day outfield comes to life this season with a series of collectible action figures. The next giveaway game is Thursday, July 8th, as the first 15,000 kids 14 and under will receive their own Captain Clutch Andre Ethier action figure presented by Claim Jumper Restaurants. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com or call 866-DODGERS. Kemp takes a breaking ball for a strike.
If you just look at the guys that are out of the lineup today for call on bereavement, Martin out of the lineup, Manny out of the lineup. Those guys in the first 2 games of this series went 13 for 29 and accounted for 9 of the 18 runs that were scored. Man, he's giving a little fashion advice there to Reed Johnson. Had the beard going. I like to joke with Reed. He's the only guy that's got hair on his face and not on his head. And then Reed decided that it was a little hot here in Cincinnati, so he shaved down to the Fu Manchu. He's got the sweet glasses working today.
Two and one. Foul ball, 2-2. Dodgers have won the first 2 games here in this series. They won 12-0. 4 pitchers combining for a shutout on Tuesday night. That was a game that was delayed by close to 2.5 hours because of rain. Yesterday, the Dodgers winning 6-2. Joe Torre riding Clayton Kershaw for the first 7 in the 3rd innings. Hong Chi Kuo got the final 5 outs, picked up his first save. Dodgers with the best record in the National League. Broke his bat, softly hit right side. Brandon Phillips throws out Kemp. That'll do it. Leadoff walk does no damage. Halfway home, bottom of the 5th next. Dodgers down 4. Dodgers 5-1. So far in the month of June, the Dodgers ship has come in for the most part. They have played very good baseball. Take a look at this tough stretch of games. Last day of May up until this weekend series against the Boston Red Sox. Difficult opponents. For the most part, the Dodgers have made hay.
Well, all the Blues are the wins there. They sweep Arizona. They split with a really hot Atlanta team when they come in. They sweep St. Louis and then get swept by a really hot Angel team that came in. And then on to Cincinnati. This game in green still yet to be determined. And then on to Boston. Those green games have not been played.
Dodgers good employees. They begin the work week bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. So far in this month, they have not lost a game on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday.
Turn back the clock.
John Eli struggled a bit through 4 innings. He's given up a pair of home runs. Bronson Arroyo, the pitcher, got him for a 3-run shot in the second. Joey Votto got him for a 2-run homer in the third. All 5 runs for the Reds have been scored via the long ball.
We talked about that the opening of the show, how important it would be for both pitchers, and Eli in particular, to keep the ball down in the strike zone. The balls that have been hit hard have been up in the zone and out of the ballpark.
Orlando Cabrera, Brandon Phillips, Joey Votto to bat here in the 5th inning. After the game, the Dodgers will pack up and head to Boston to take on the Red Sox for 3 over the weekend. Fastball, strike 1. Just a half-hearted swing. And Cabrera down in the count 0-2.
If you look at Cabrera over the last 9 seasons as a shortstop, he's second in those 9 seasons in doubles and third in RBIs overall. So been a very productive player, but you wonder why he spent 8 straight seasons in Montreal and then a half a year in Boston, 3 years as an Angel, 1 year in Chicago, a half a year in Oakland, a half a year in Minnesota. Finally landed here in Cincinnati.
And they've all been winning teams. Usually when guys go from team to team, they're on cellar dwellers, but not Cabrera.
Cabrera's father was a Marlins scout who signed Edgar Renteria.
One shortstop hits it to the other. Jamie Carroll throws out Cabrera.
Edgar Renteria was a young kid running around in Colombia, South America, the younger brother of Eddie Renteria, who was the bat boy for my winter ball team when I played down there. That's how far back I go.
What part of Colombia were you playing winter ball in?
Colombia, South America. I was playing in Barranquilla. The other teams were located in Cartagena. It was about a 90-mile drive between the 2 cities that took about 3 hours.
A lot of stops?
In and out of the mountains, up and down. The transportation wasn't the best. And 1 stop. Way back in 1982.
Brandon Phillips walked and scored his last time up. Phillips has walked twice in this 3-game series. Both times he walked, he scored. Leads the National League in runs scored with 50. That's 2 more than the Dodgers' Matt Kemp.
Ooh. There's a pitch right there that Brandon Phillips wishes that he had back. Good, quick, hard swing. Just didn't get it. Fouled it straight back. Take another look at it. That's a pitch that you want to swing at and watch his reaction. A little upset he missed it.
Deep drive to center field. Kemp going back, looks up. This ball is gone. 3rd home run of the ball game for the Reds. Pretty good power for a small man.
We talked about Votto just fouling off some good pitches to hit and then crushing them. And then Phillips doing the same thing. Getting a pitch that he liked, missing it, turning around, hitting the next one. This is a changeup. Up. Look at the location of that pitch. Way up above the belt buckle. You can't throw changeups in that area and expect to be successful. So far today, John Eli up with everything.
They're calling that a 412-foot home run for Brandon Phillips. Joey Votto pounds this one foul. Down in the count 0-2. 9th homer of the season for Brandon Phillips. Now has 103 lifetime big league home runs.
And I think one of the reasons why Phillips is smiling so much there is that you don't generally get a second chance to hit one like that.
Third baseman Casey Blake throws out Votto for the second out here in the 5th inning.
Now, most hitters know that they have a decent chance of getting one good pitch to hit per at-bat. And if you don't hit it, you're not going to get anything else. He missed the pitch that he liked the most and then sat on a changeup and hit it dead center.
Two outs, bases clear. Scott Rowland steps in. Rowland's got an 0 for working, 0 for 2. Fly out to right field to end the 1st inning. Hit the ball hard his last time out. But lined out to the shortstop, Jamie Carroll. You played third base in the big leagues. Scott Rowland, he has won a whole bunch of Gold Gloves. What's the best thing that he does as a third baseman?
I think his balance when he catches the ball. He's very good at squaring himself back up to the play and making good throws. He's got a strong arm, obviously. But, you know, nothing can make up if you have bad hands. And he's got some soft hands. Just everything for a big guy. Just everything goes into his glove nicely.
Got a soft bare hand too. He
made that catch yesterday.
Nice play in shallow left field. Ball was popping out of his glove and caught it with his big meat paw. Walk is issued. That's the 3rd walk allowed by Eli. Rick Honeycutt's going to have a conversation with his battery.
You have to start thinking about the future of the Dodgers starters here. And for a good period of time over the last month or so, they've been doing an outstanding job. Of course, the bullpen's been great after about the first 3 weeks of the season. But think of the guys that the Dodgers are relying heavily on right now. John Eli, who's making his first few appearances into the major leagues. Carlos Monasterio's doing the exact same thing, who had made 2 appearances above A ball in his entire career before this season. And Vicente Padilla, who's spent the better part of this entire season on the DL. Billingsley now on the DL. And Clayton Kershaw and Kuroda, your 2 mainstays.
Johnny Gomes hits a rocket past Casey Blake into left field. 8th base hit of the ball game for the Reds. Runners on at first and at second.
When you're a guy like John Eli, and we talked a lot about this, especially after his very first start in New York, when you can't throw the ball by guys, you will have days like this where you don't have your good stuff and it gets hit hard. These 2 guys right here, you don't worry too much about them.
Two runners on, 2 outs. Jay Bruce next in line. Doubled and scored in the 2nd. Hit a line drive that turned into a double play to end the 3rd. When you look at Eli, last handful of starts, do you see a lack of command, or is it more the scouting report being circulated on him and guys just know him a little bit better and hitting his pitches that normally were fooling guys?
I think it's a combination of both of those things. They're seeing a little bit more of him. Nobody knew about him before. And the fact that he has a good changeup sort of got out there, and what you do is you fall into patterns. Guys, he likes to throw a changeup in these certain counts. And then today is kind of an aberration. Everything's up. His changeup isn't moving out of the strike zone. It's not down. I mean, I don't know that he's bounced a pitch all day long. He's got to be the kind of pitcher that throws a lot of pitches in the dirt.
Is this just buying time for Justin Miller to get loose in the bullpen?
Well, that's one of the reasons. I don't know if he thought something was going on back there or not 2 times in a row, but here comes Joe now.
Second meeting on the mound here of the inning. So we're going to have a pitching change. Joe Torre is going to take the ball from John Eli. We're going to have a new pitcher come on. Justin Miller. We'll tell you about him when we come back to Cincinnati. Eli and the trouble he has had giving up long balls in this afternoon's ball game. Bronson Arroyo, the pitcher, got him for a 3-run shot. Then Joey Votto goes opposite field. And just moments ago here in the 5th inning, deepest part of the ballpark, Brandon Phillips, 412-foot home run.
Common theme there, bad pitches to the wrong hitters. 2 balls up to Arroyo and Phillips, and a ball down and away to Joey Votto, who might as well be coming into his wheelhouse right there.
Coming into the game, John Eli had thrown 56 big league innings and given up 3 home runs. Doesn't make it through 5 innings this afternoon and gives up 3 home runs. New pitcher Justin Miller. Swinging a foul tip at home plate. Take a look at the Haynes comfort zone. The Dodgers know that the bullpen, for the most part, has been very good here in the month of June.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty good. 5-0, an ERA of right around 2, and knocking down the save opportunities when you've got them.
Justin Miller called up back on May 27th. Gives up a shot off the bat of Bruce into right field. Coming around third. Here comes Roland. The throw goes to second. And the lead is now 7-1. It's going to be charged to John Eli. Eli still responsible for Johnny Gomes, who's now at second. Dodgers still looking for the elusive third out here, the 5th inning. Drew Stubbs, the batter, takes the breaking ball, strike 1. And 2.
Yeah, look out here, Justin Miller, one of those guys that's not afraid to throw inside, especially on 0-2 counts. Hit 3 guys already in his 11 innings since he's been recalled to the big leagues.
1-2. On 4 pitches, Miller strikes out Drew Stubbs, but more damage done. Couple of runs score. Home run by Brandon Phillips. RBI single off the bat of Jay Bruce. 7-1 Reds. Dodgers 7-1 is our score. Yesterday, news around baseball, Pedro Alvarez got called up by the Pittsburgh Pirates, played against the Chicago White Sox. He is one of a handful of guys who have been called up, or at least made their big league debut early in this major league season, and had been highly decorated and talked about even before they made it up to the big leagues.
A bunch of those guys, good young stars and players to watch in the near future, and obviously all these guys up now and playing for the big league clubs.
Mike Stanton, LA guy, Sherman Oaks, Notre Dame High School, playing for the Marlins. He just put up huge numbers down in the Southern League, AA affiliate for the Florida Marlins. Huge power. Andre Ethier fouls this pitch wide of the bag at first. Interesting note I was reading about Ozzie Guillen, your former teammate, now the manager of the White Sox. He woke up in Pittsburgh and was reading the local newspaper, and according to him, there were 7 pages dedicated to Pedro Alvarez making his major league debut. This one hit out to left field and is caught by Johnny Gomes. 1 up and 1 down here in the 6th inning. Ozzie was quoted as saying, "I'm kind of scared. I open up the sports page and it's like 7 pages of this kid. I was telling our bench coach, Joey Cora, I might walk him just to face somebody else. I'm terrified."
Sounds like Ozzie.
Yeah, Pittsburgh desperate for someone to talk about. But Alvarez is supposed to be the real deal. Third baseman. He played with David Price at Vanderbilt.
Former Dodger Andy LaRoche seems to be the odd man out there.
Talk to people in the know, and they'll tell you that Pedro Alvarez is the best hitting prospect to come out of New York City since Manny Ramirez was tearing it up at George Washington High School.
And some high praise.
James Loney, ball and a strike. If you absolutely needed one base hit to win a ball game, which former George Washington High School player would you rather have hitting for you? Manny Ramirez or Rod Carew?
I think if I needed just a base hit, I'd take Rod Carew. If I needed somebody to jump the yard, I think there's no question who I'd send up there.
It's a lot of hits out of one high school.
Yes, it is.
3-1. Loney works the walk. Runner on at first base with 1 out. Dodgers trying to get back in this game. Did you ever play against Rod Carew?
I did. Excellent player. Great opposite field hitter. Used to wear golf gloves instead of batting gloves. Had his fingers on the bat just nice and light. Knew when the ball would come, just slap it into left field. Excellent contact hitter.
Rod Carew, Wade Boggs, or Tony Gwynn?
Played against Carew, played with Boggs. And, you know, it would be easier for me to say Boggs because he was just amazing anytime he wanted to get a base hit. But I think if you talk in baseball circles overall, most people will tell you Tony Gwynn.
Casey Blake enjoying the day games. 372.
Again, another one.
Add another base hit to that total. He's now 2 for 3. And this is what you need. Dodgers down by 6, not trying to get it all at one swing of the bat. A walk here, a single here.
And hopefully no double play to follow it up. It's been the bugaboo really for the Dodgers so far today. Obviously they've given up some runs, but they haven't given themselves a chance to get any back because anytime they start to get something going, it's a 3-6-1 or a 4-6-3 or some other kind of double play ball.
Garrett Anderson hit into a double play his last time up. Takes a pitch down low. Well, Garrett should feel somewhat comfortable here at Great American Ballpark. His only home run this season in a Dodger uniform, coming against the Reds back on April 22nd. Did it against Mike Leake. Strike called. 286 lifetime home runs for Garrett Anderson. Over 2,500 hits. 519 doubles. First big league home run coming over 15 years ago. June 13th, 1995. Off of the Minnesota Twins' Kevin Tapani. Golf down the right field line. Jay Bruce on the run, makes the play. That's the third time today that Garrett Anderson has hit a ball right on the screws. He's got nothing to show for it.
Now, we've seen Jay Bruce do this to the Dodgers a couple times in the series. The first time the Dodgers were here in April, a ball that you think is going to be hit, Jay Bruce just outruns it. And the amazing part about that play is that both base runners think that it's a good opportunity for that ball to get down. Loney's thinking he can score on it. And because of that, you get the ball back into the infield, nobody advances.
Garrett is lined out twice to right field and also hit into that 3-6-1 double play. 2 outs. A.J. Ellis swings at the first pitch and fouls it off his front leg. Ellis from Lexington, Kentucky. Same high school as former Dodger great, Dodger legend, Sweet Lou Johnson. Went on to Austin Peay University, where he was a communications major. Communication skills very important for catchers. Loney on at second. Blake on at first. Little flare, right side. Bruce coming on, makes the play. Now Jay Bruce has proven that he can go back and get it, and he can come in and get it. He robs A.J. Ellis. Dodgers denied.
Light Freeze Cam brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light.
Bronson Arroyo named for Charles Bronson. Probably good that he was born when he was. If he was born more recent vintage, his parents, if they're big fans of action heroes, they may have named him the Rock Arroyo.
The Rock Arroyo.
Diesel Arroyo.
Yeah, but considering his background, he's so heavily into music, the Rock Arroyo would have been a good name.
Yeah.
I think he still plays some local gigs around here.
Justin Miller working at Corky Miller. It's Miller time here at the ballpark. Corky is yet to be retired. Walked and scored in the second inning. Singled in the fourth. Two Californians working against each other. Justin Miller from Torrance. Corky Miller from Yucaipa. Off the end of the bat, this one. It's going to be fair. Extra bases for Corky Miller. He has tripled his base hit output of the season in today's ball game. Came in with one base hit. He now has 3.
That's one way out front off the end of the bat. It's just going to scrape the foul line down there. Tough play for anybody to get to. Garrett Anderson tries to get it in as soon as he can. And it's a double for Corky Miller.
A walk and single and a double for Corky Miller. Bronson Arroyo bats. 3-run home run for him in the second inning. Squares to Buck. Takes a strike.
It's a little odd, I think, to have Arroyo bunting right here. Last time he slug bunted. That didn't work out too well. He bounced into a double play, but at least Dusty Baker lets his pitchers take that option. He made a 3-run homer before that. With the score 7-1. Why not let him swing away? There he goes. What did you call that as a kid? When you'd fake the bunt, pull it back, and swing it?
Butcher Boy.
Slug bunt. Butcher Boy. We used to call it something that didn't work very often.
0-2 pitch. Swings and misses on 3 pitches. Justin Miller gets the strikeout. Out number 1 here in the 6th inning. We still haven't come up with a good name for when Rafael Furcal runs up in the batter's box and takes a half swing.
Yeah, there's not too many guys that have perfected that. Basically, it's just a running bunt that he bunts at the shortstop. Nobody tries to bunt the ball at the shortstop. Works for him all the time.
Orlando Cabrera 0 for 3. Breaking ball, strike 1.
You're talking about the Rock Arroyo. When Rich Aurelio was playing here, Richie's wife's an outstanding vocalist. They hooked up together and played local gigs around town with Aurelio's wife singing.
What's that all about?
Cabrera's wanting to figure out what's happening behind home plate there. Rarely do you see a player turn around, come all the way back to the umpire, and kind of get up right in his face and get a chance to talk to him.
0-2.
So they would play around town, different little gigs. Arroyo would play the guitar, and Aurelio's wife would sing. They're still having a conversation there, but it doesn't look all that antagonistic, I guess. He's just having a nice little conversation.
0-2 pitch. A little bit low, 90 miles per hour, 1-2. Corky Miller on at second base. Dodgers down 7-1. We've seen 3 home runs hit in today's ball game, all of them by the Reds. Arroyo, Votto, and Brandon Phillips.
Good pitch.
Back-to-back strikeouts for Justin Miller. That's now 3 strikeouts in the first 5 men that he's faced. 2 outs here in the 6th. So Justin Miller has faced 5 men. He struck out 3, and the other 2 have reached base with hits. Jay Bruce and Corky Miller. Brandon Phillips. 9th home run of the season his last time up. Also walked and scored. Leads the National League with 51 runs on the year. Pitching matchups have come out for the next 3 games for the Dodgers. Against the Boston Red Sox in Fenway. A couple of rookies going at it tomorrow. Carlos Monasterios gets the ball for the Dodgers. Left-handed pitcher making his big league debut, Felix Dubron, makes the start. Kid out of Venezuela. 2 Venezuelans pitching in that game tomorrow. On Saturday, Vicente Padilla against Tim Wakefield, the knuckleballer. Hiroki Kuroda and Clay Buchholz. They pitch on Sunday. Hard hit ball right to the shortstop. Jamie Carroll stays down on it and throws out Brandon Phillips, side retired. Leadoff double by Corky Miller does no damage. To the 7th we go. 7-1 Reds. Top of the 7th inning. Reds on top of the Dodgers. Score 7-1. Take a look at the Hyundai key to the game. It's all about Bronson Arroyo.
He's done an outstanding job, and you've talked about it before. When you have an outstanding defense behind you, why not let him hit the ball? He's given his defense a chance to work, and he's done a lot of that defensive work himself, covering first base. If he got into any trouble at all, got himself back out of it with the double play ball, and he helped his own cause with the 3-run homer.
Jamie Carroll leads things off for the Dodgers. It'll be Carroll, the pitcher spot, and then Blake DeWitt. One unique thing about Bronson Arroyo's afternoon, he has worked 6 innings. He has not struck out a Dodger. He has not gotten a Dodger to swing and miss so far today. There's a strike, 1-1. In total, the Dodgers have swung the bat on 30 different pitches from Arroyo. Every time they've either put it in play or fouled it.
Well, I'm not sure if that's necessarily a good thing, but it sure is today for him. He hasn't given up just the 1 run. I think if I'm a pitcher and you could guarantee me that every time you swing the bat you're going to hit it, but I'm only going to give up 1 through 6 innings, I'd be all right by that.
Not a good ratio. That's going to be another walk. He's walked 6 men.
And at least 3 of them have been 4-pitch walks. Just 4 in a row. See you later.
This is now a new season high in walks allowed for Arroyo. He walked 5 in St. Louis against the Cardinals back on May the 31st. So leadoff man aboard. And here comes Reed Johnson getting a chance to hit. Logan Andrusic and Arthur Rhodes getting loose in the bullpen for the Reds.
So if no Dodger has swung the bat and missed, does that mean that in the 3 walks that Jamie Carroll has had that he's actually not swung his bat at all? I guess maybe could have fouled one off. I don't remember earlier in his at-bats. I know that there has been at least 3 times in the 6 walks that it's been a 4-pitch walk. One of those was to James Loney. So maybe Jamie fouled one off at some point in the game today, but he's got 3 walks.
Reed Johnson takes inside. And Jamie Carroll gets an opportunity to play about once every week. And this opportunity to play not too far away from his hometown of Evansville, Indiana, with family and friends in the stands. He's walked 3 times.
Better than striking out 3 times.
Can't be a hero with the bat on your shoulder. Out of play right side. So with Reed Johnson batting, that means that Justin Miller is out of the game. Justin Miller, inning in 2/3, struck out 3. Didn't allow a run. Swing and a miss. Reed Johnson strikes out. That's the first time that a Dodger has swung and missed against Arroyo.
How can you go 7 innings into the game, and that's the first time that anybody swung and missed at a pitch?
So 1 out. Top of the lineup, Blake DeWitt swings at the first pitch, gets himself his second base hit of the ball game. Line drive into right field. Runners at first and at second. So DeWitt getting a chance to lead off for the first time this year. Now 2 for 4. With Justin Miller out of the ball game, looks like George Sherrill will come on to pitch the bottom of the 7th here in Cincinnati. Matt Kemp bats with 1 out and 2 runners on. Ball 1. Dodgers had 30 base hits in the first 2 games of this series. They have just 5 as we play the 7th inning today. And for the Dodgers, all 5 of those base hits have been singles.
You're hoping Matt Kemp can get it going again. That average down under 270 now.
On the ground, foul, just foul. A little bit left of the bag down the line, 3rd.
Joe Torre talking about Matt Kemp just not looking really comfortable, a little tentative at the plate. Dropped him down in the order for the first 2 ball games and had a deep fly ball to right center field in game 1 of this series that drove in a run via the sacrifice fly, but it looked like he was kind of loosening up and starting to air it out again. But then again in today's ball game, back to looking a little tentative. He walked his first at bat, had a line drive in his second right at the shortstop, and then a weak ground ball to the second baseman in his last appearance.
Jamie Carroll on at second. DeWitt on at first. 88 miles per hour, and he gets a swing and miss. That's the second swing and a miss that Arroyo has registered. What is the out pitch with Bronson Arroyo? If he's going to get you, what is he going to get you with?
Well, he gets you with his arm angle. He can throw all three pitches for a strike. We talked about sinks to fastball. He's got that sweeping breaking ball and a changeup. But it's where he throws the ball from that gets you.
Right side, Votto to second for one, on to first. How about that? That is the third 3-6-1 double play we've seen in 7 innings. That is hard to do.
Well, I told you before, it's really about the way Joey Votto plays first base. Just a brilliant play from Votto.
Welcome back, everyone. Bottom of the 7th inning. 7th inning stretch underway here at Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. George Sherrill is going to come on and pitch the bottom of the 7th inning. He's the third pitcher of the ball game for the Dodgers.
George Sherrill still trying to work out some of the issues that he's had this season. You see that ERA still up over 7 last year for this team. Just virtually unhittable. Got banged around a little bit in the playoffs, but well, he was one of the reasons why this team made the playoffs out of the bullpen. Just got it done. And has struggled with velocity and location issues this season.
On the ground, shortstop Jamie Carroll surrounds it. Throws out Joey Votto.
In between innings, I talked to both Tom Brenneman and Marty Brenneman, the Hall of Fame announcers here in Cincinnati. Marty's a Hall of Famer. Tom, in my opinion, one of the best ever. Well on his way if he continues his work. So we're talking about, there they are, both of them. Hall of Famer on your left and one of the best baseball announcers going today, Tom Brenneman, on the right. And I was talking to him about Joey Votto in between innings, whether or not maybe he's a Gold Glove guy, and they said no, but he's much, much better than he used to be. Well, we've seen him make some outstanding plays in this series. He said the guy that deserves a Gold Glove every year is the guy out in right field, Jay Bruce. And he said if they did it by outfield position, he'd win one every year. But the way the Gold Glove goes in the outfield is they just pick 3 outfielders. They don't care who you are.
Scott Rowland hits it to left, and it's caught by Garrett Anderson. 2 outs. Dodgers trailing the Reds 7-1. Home half of the 7th inning. Johnny Gomes will bat. Well, who's ever in charge of alumni giving at Austin Peay University in Clarksville, Tennessee, needs to take a picture of this Dodger battery. George Sherrill, an alum of Austin Peay University, throwing to A.J. Ellis, an alum of Austin Peay University. They're the only two Austin Peay Governors playing big league baseball, and they're throwing to each other. And they get Johnny Gomes to foul tip a ball into A.J.'s glove. And they both are graduates. George Sherrill, a graduate with a degree in criminal justice, and A.J. Ellis, a communications degree. So a tip of the cap to a team from the Ohio Valley Conference.
Wonder how many other Austin Peay players, period, let alone graduates, ever played in the big leagues. Can't be too many, and you got two of them on the same team playing catch with each other. It's kind of neat when that happens. I mean, obviously in Chicago you had Fontenot, Ontario playing up the middle for that club, who had both been teammates at LSU playing up the middle for that team. It doesn't happen very often. Cincinnati, they had like 4 guys fall from the same school playing in the infield. They all went to Michigan. Sabo at third, Larkin at short. Hal Morris played first.
On that Michigan team that you're talking about with Morris, Sabo, and Larkin, arguably the most decorated player in that infield was the second baseman, Casey Close, who is now Derek Jeter's agent. Fly ball right side.
Jim Abbott was sprinkled in there somewhere. He just didn't happen to play in the infield. Pretty good player himself. How many national titles were won by that team?
None.
None.
Big Ten baseball. High fly ball. And a shallow center field. Matt Kemp calls for it. Makes the play. Believe it or not, that's our first 1-2-3 inning thrown by a Dodger pitcher. 8th inning is next. Welcome back, everyone. Top of the 8th inning. Dodgers down by a half dozen. Take a look at the Hyundai key to the game. And, well, it's been the defense of the Reds. They have turned 3 double plays, my friend, and all of them have been the same way. First to short to the pitcher covering. 3-6-1.
How rare is that?
Exceedingly. We'll get back to that in a moment. Also want to talk about the defense played out in right field. Jay Bruce has been a man on a mission. He's gone back. He's come up. He's made all the plays. Reds leading the National League in defense and showing you why they have flashed the leather. Just to put that in perspective, this year, in all the Major League games, there has never been 2 3-6-1 double plays turned. For both sides, never. In the first 7 innings of this game, the Reds have turned 3 3-6-1 double plays. Aaron Charlton, Stats Inc., credit for that gem. And that is a gem. Do you agree that's the hardest double play to turn in the infield?
Absolutely. One of the reasons is because the ball's going across the infield twice, and you're involving, which many players consider a non-athlete. You're involving the pitcher in that play. Sometimes they forget to cover. Sometimes they don't do it very well. We talked about Arroyo's athletic ability already.
New pitcher in the game, Arthur Rhodes. Veteran from Beaumont, Texas. He has been sensational in the last month.
He just keeps getting it done. In his 18th Major League season, he's 40 years old. Another one of those guys that basically spent 15 years playing for two organizations, Baltimore and then Seattle, from 91 all the way up to 04. Then he went Oakland, Cleveland, Philadelphia, back to Seattle, Florida, and now Cincinnati.
Originally drafted and signed by the Orioles in 1988. Second round pick. Deep drive to left field. New left fielder Lance Nix goes back to the wall and makes the play. And Nix checks into the game, and the first ball hit in play finds him.
It's usually the way it is, isn't it? If you're a defensive replacement, you better be ready because the first ball's getting hit to you.
One out, James Loney, the batter. 0 for 2 with a walk. Outside, 93 miles per hour. Arthur Rhodes leads all National League relievers in ERA. That's a minimum of 28 innings of work. He's only allowed 1 run this entire year. That came in his second appearance of the season, and it was on a Jeff Baker solo home run. Jeff Baker, former Rocky, now with the Chicago Cubs. That's it. Hasn't allowed a run in over 2 months. 26 scoreless innings. During those 26 innings, he's given up 10 hits, and he struck out 24. It's a tough matchup here for James.
I asked him the last time we were in town how long he wanted to keep doing, and he said, you know what, I feel good, and I feel like I keep getting guys out, so I don't see any reason to quit. Most people would give their left arm to play this game. I just get to keep using mine.
Foul tip in and out of Corky Miller's glove. On the ground, that's going to get through. First base hit of the ball game for Loney. Dodgers now with 6 base hits, runner on with 1 out. Cap off your holiday weekend with an Independence Day fireworks spectacular on Monday, July 5th. Compliments of Hyundai. Watch the Dodgers take on the Marlins at 6:10, and following the game, all fans are invited onto the field to take in the show. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com or call 866-DODGERS. Marlins scuffling right now. They're 3 games below 500. But they've got some good talent. Hanley Ramirez. Mike Stanton just called up. Casey Blake down the right field line. That's going to drop. Casey's had a day. The ball is bobbled by Bruce, but it doesn't do much damage. Loney has to stop at second. That's now 3 straight singles for Casey Blake, who continues to dominate in day games.
He likes to play in the daytime. That was a play right there. Jay Bruce kind of bobbled it in right field. James Loney may have been able to move up to third base on that play, but he bobbled it right at the same time when Larry Bowa said, hey, this is one of the best right fielders in the game with a cannon, and he held him up. And right about that time is when Bruce bobbled the ball, so James Loney was already slowing down and stopping at second.
Two veterans going at it here. Garrett Anderson and Arthur Rhodes. First pitch, ball 1. Garrett Anderson has faced Arthur Rhodes 40 times. 8 base hits and 40 at-bats. He's only driven in 1 run in 40 at-bats. He struck out 7 times. He's hit the ball hard all 3 times today. A couple of lineouts to right and a double play to the first baseman, Votto. Good hitters count, 2-0. What does a left-handed batter look for from Arthur Rhodes?
He tried to pick up his delivery. I mean, he's got a nasty slider down and away, and then he still throws hard enough that he can run the ball in on your fist. So you have to try to cover both sides of the plate, and most hitters will tell you it's almost impossible to do. That's 92 miles an hour, so you can tell that he can still rush it up there. A couple guys facing each other right now, a little long in the tooth, huh?
Arthur Rhodes, 40 years of age.
Maybe Jamie Moyer has faced someone that's older.
Oh, got a win yesterday.
The ageless wonder. Jamie Moyer has 2 shutouts. The Dodgers have none. The Dodgers have not. I don't think the Dodgers have had a shutout thrown pitched by a single pitcher. Jamie Moyer has 2 shutouts on his own. Or a complete game shutout.
High pop-up. Cabrera. Infield fly rule was on. Makes the catch anyway. And
complete game is what I meant to say, not shutout. He's thrown 2. The Dodgers have thrown none.
Arthur Rhodes, over 2 months. Scoreless baseball. So A.J. Ellis next in line. A.J. 0 for 2, did walk and score the Dodgers' only run. That was back in the 2nd inning. Scored when the pitcher John Eli got an RBI single. We have a combined 8 runs scored in today's game, and half of those runs have been scored on runs batted in from pitchers. John Eli, an RBI single. Bronson Arroyo, a 3-run home run.
It's funny, we've talking too about Arthur Rhodes and the job he's done. He allowed the 1 run only, but if you look at his record, he's 2-1 on the season. So the only run he allowed all season long got him a loss. That was that home run by Baker. It was a pinch hit shot that lost the game for him.
Got to be careful with Jeff Baker.
You just got to be careful if you give up runs if you're Arthur Rhodes, I guess. Jeez.
Three balls, no strikes. Jamie Carroll in the on-deck circle. There's a strike, 3-1. Now look who's getting loose. Manny Ramirez. If A.J. can get on.
Look out over there. Jamie Carroll almost took a ricochet shot off of Miller and then Lane, the umpire, and then it zipped right past Jamie Carroll, too. Good swing right there by A.J. Ellis.
Counts full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Both Loney at second and Blake on at first will be off with the pitch. There they go. A couple of fake umpires behind home plate. Three-two again. Misses inside. Bases are loaded. Runners on at every base. Jamie Carroll's going to be called back, and Manny Ramirez is going to hit. So Manny Ramirez is going to pinch hit with the bases loaded against the Cincinnati Reds. May not have seen it here in Cincinnati, but we saw it last year at Dodger Stadium.
It's too bad they're not giving out Manny bobbleheads tonight.
It's too bad Nick Massett isn't pitching. Manny Ramirez, a grand slam home run in this situation a year ago at Dodger Stadium. On Manny Ramirez bobblehead day. 21 grand slams lifetime. Only Lou Gehrig has more. I didn't realize A-Rod was climbing up that list. All right, here we go. Dodgers have a chance to get back in it with one swing of the bat. Runners on at every base. 2 outs. Top of the 8th inning. Manny has homered in each of the first 2 games of this series. He's had success against Arthur Rhodes in the past. 4 hits and 10 at-bats, including 1 that left the building. Swings at the first pitch and hits a 2-hopper to the shortstop. Cabrera throws out Ramirez. That'll do it. Dodgers leave him loaded. 7-1. Reds, middle of 8.
Pre-jerked your 5-hour energy, man.
Bottom of the 8th inning. Cincinnati trying to win one. The final game of this 3-game series. Dodgers winning the first 2 games. Time now for the Jaguar performance. And it's been the long ball bats of the Cincinnati Reds. Bronson Arroyo, his first home run of the season, his 5th career, a 3-run shot. Joey Votto goes opposite field, towering home run, his 14th of the year. And then a solo blast, Brandon Phillips. Good ballpark to hit home runs in.
Yes, it is. Small yard and the ball jumps. This guy, Jay Bruce, is another guy that can jump the yard on you in a heartbeat.
New pitcher coming on for the Dodgers. 4th pitcher of the ball game, Travis Schlichting. Just called up 2 days ago when Chad Billingsley was placed on the disabled list. May not be long for the roster. Getting an opportunity today to pitch the 8th inning. First ball swinging. Jay Bruce hits it to James Loney, who tosses it to Schlichting covering. 1 pitch, 1 out. Second game with the Dodgers this year. His first game was pretty darn good. Earned his scholarship last time he was up. Through 4 innings of shutout baseball, allowed just 3 base hits.
One inning, all zeros. 1 inning, all zeros.
1 out, bottom of the 8th inning. This is now Drew Stubbs. You just saw a shot of Chin-Long Hu, who has made it. Just flew in about an hour and a half ago, landed in Kentucky. Airport is actually in Kentucky. And he has checked into the game at shortstop, replacing Jamie Carroll, whose first appearance was a big league level for the Dodgers here in 2010.
It's an odd lifestyle, isn't it? They throw you onto a plane. Not even sure where Chin Lung Hu came from. And, of course, he's going to get a chance. Well, Blake DeWitt says, why don't you let me handle this one? You might have jet lag still. They throw you on a plane. You land, you go to the ballpark, and then you find yourself in a Major League Baseball game a couple hours later. Why wait around, I guess?
Two outs, bases clear. Corky Miller is yet to be retired. Fouls one back to the screen. Single, a double. Also walked and scored. Came into the game with 1 hit and 14 at bats. Has tripled his output. Also done a great impersonation of Bad Blake. Crazy Heart. 0-2. Corky Miller, claim to fame, something you don't generally want. He has 100 minor league home runs. There aren't too many elite major league players that have 100 minor league home runs to their credit. That means you spend a lot of time beating the bushes.
Crash Davis.
100 minor league home runs, 9 big league home runs. There's a guy in the Mets chain, Mike Hessman. He's got over 300 minor league home runs. He's still going at it.
Well, this is clearly the type of game where as long as someone will let you keep playing, there's no real reason to go away.
Called strike 3. First time today that Corky Miller has been set down. 1-2-3 inning for Travis Schlichting. He has now thrown 5 scoreless innings on the year. 9th is next. Top of the 9th inning. Reds on top of the Dodgers by a score of 7-1. People frequently say you go to a baseball game, you pay attention, you may see something you've never seen before. It's quite possible most people on the face of the earth have never seen this before. There have been 3 3-6-1 double plays turned today by the Cincinnati Reds. First baseman to the shortstop to the pitcher covering.
And I don't think those get turned unless you have Votto playing first, who did everything so quickly, and Arroyo playing pitcher who did a great job of covering first base.
I've been digging through the old record books. Since 1974, this is only the second time that there have been 3 3-6-1 double plays turned. The last time it happened, 1998, who was on hand? Joe Torre. It was the Yankees against the Red Sox in that one. How about that? In that game, all the double plays weren't turned by the same team. There was 2 by one team, 1 by the other. This very unique because all 3 double plays turned by the Reds. Happened in the first 7 innings of the game. New pitcher for the Reds, Francisco Cordero. Non-safe situation. He is working to Ronnie Belliard. Belliard seeing his first action of this 3-game series. It'll be Belliard, and then the top of the lineup, Blake DeWitt and Matt Kemp. Not much luck for Belliard. He strikes out. Well, the big news around Major League Baseball the next 3 days, all going to focus around Manny Ramirez's return to Boston to take on the Red Sox with the Dodgers. A 3-game set over the weekend. You can catch the first game tomorrow on Prime Ticket. Dodgers Live comes your way at 3:30, getting you ready for that series. Joe Torre before the game telling the media folks that more than likely Manny will not play the field during the weekend series. He'll probably be the designated hitter all 3 games. This is Blake DeWitt. A couple of hits today. First game batting leadoff as a big leaguer. Joe also saying that he really hopes that the Boston Red Sox fans show appreciation for Manny Ramirez and what he meant to that organization, helping them win 2 championships. Shallow center field. Orlando Cabrera. Dodgers down to their last out. Dodgers Live will follow us here at the ballpark. Hopefully later rather than sooner. But the Dodgers are down to their last out. Jim Watson standing by to host Dodgers Live. Kemp takes ball 1. Dodgers won on Tuesday night, 12-0. 4 pitchers combining for a shutout. Hiroki Kuroda got the win. Dodgers won yesterday, 6-2. Clayton Kershaw was magnificent, going 7 1/3, giving up just 1 earned run, struck out 7. But today, John Eli just didn't have it. Gave up 3 home runs. He is on line to pick up the loss. Down the right field line. Foul territory. Votto makes the play that'll end the game. Well, it's only appropriate that Joey Votto makes a nice defensive play to end it. He was airtight down the first base line today. He started 3 3-6-1 double plays. One of the reasons why the Dodgers just had no luck against the Reds on this Thursday afternoon. Well, we're going to take a quick timeout. We come back. Dodgers Live coming your way. Jim Watson, he's going to take the reins. Don't go anywhere.